Hi, thank you for joining me for this month's recap of Coffee with Katie, where I share insights from conversations I have with other women during a monthly coffee hour where I present a financial or financial related topic and we share stories and learn from one another. My name is Katie Brown. I'm a certified financial planner and I've had the privilege of serving families for nearly 20 years. In this month's Coffee with Katie, we talked about spring cleaning. And I want to break it down into 3 areas for you. One is cleaning up what you know you have. The second one is looking for things you may have forgotten that you have. And the third thing is setting up systems for success going forward. So cleaning up what you know you have. This is going to be the biggest area. And I kind of break this into two pieces. One is the account side of things, maybe the electronic side. And the other side is I'm going to call it the paper side. So that's your filing systems. On the account side, did you know that the average card holding American family has 19 different cards? So that's credit cards, retail cards, debit cards, and then you have bank accounts and you have investment accounts, maybe stock, custodial, retirement accounts on top of that. And before you know it, your balance sheet is much larger than you had intended. And so I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of consolidating your accounts. So I think we all know there's a benefit in the management. If you have less accounts, you have less payments to make, you have less statements to come in, you have less things to review. So that's kind of an obvious one. But there could be cost savings associated with it. You might actually be paying higher tax filing fees because you have more tax documents that need to be processed and factored in. You might be able to increase the efficiency for some of the positions that you hold by bringing them together and actually reduce the cost of managing those. So there's a cost savings. And I think there's the benefit of reducing your profile is from a risk standpoint, so security fraud or identity theft. If you have fewer accounts out there, then you're just not quite as exposed. And so having that opportunity to kind of reduce your opportunity for identity theft as well. So this is what I would suggest and how to tackle it. Write everything down. Write down all of your accounts, all of your investments, all of your bank accounts, and go through one by one and say, okay, what is the purpose of this account? And is that purpose still valid? And if it's not, look for ways that you can consolidate it someplace else. And then ask again, does that hurt or help the purpose? And as much as you can kind of tighten that up, then you're moving kind of in the right direction. But I think it does have to come down to your own systems and your own purpose for management. And then the other side, as I mentioned, the paper side. So let's talk about cleaning out your documents. If you say you're still getting paper statements, how long should you be holding on to things? So I think the most common consensus that I hear for tax returns is 7 years. The IRS can go back and audit 3 years, but they might reference something further back. And so typically I hear 7 years as being the strongest recommendation. And actually the irs.gov website supports that as well. So those I'd hold on to along with supporting documentation. And then other items though, like everyday household expenses or bills, your utility bills, your credit card bills, those you're probably fine holding on to for just a year and then shredding the rest. Bills or expenses that you have for home improvements, hold on to those for the life of your home so that you can make sure to substantiate the basis in your house when you go to sell it. So that's important to hold on to for a while. But then other things like legal documents. So any expired contracts, insurance contracts, etc., I would get rid of those. Outdated estate documents. Keep your current estate documents and any codicils, but if you have outdated ones sitting around, that just adds to the confusion. So make sure to get rid of those as well. Make sure to shred all of these items. So hopefully that'll help you clear out your paper files as well. The next thing I want to talk about is looking for things you may have forgotten. And this is where I'm thinking along the lines of subscriptions or memberships. So Maybe you signed up for that paid newsletter or that service out there that you're not really using. Go back and look through everything that's on autopilot that you haven't looked at for a while, and just make sure that you are still getting the value from it. And if not, time to get rid of it. And then finally, build the systems for success going forward. So you may prefer paper, so make sure all of your files are set up properly and you know the process. When something comes in, it goes into this drawer, it gets processed, it gets filed into that drawer. Whatever your system is, that's fine. Maybe this is an opportunity to switch over to an electronic system and get electronic delivery or set up some auto pays. You might prefer to use spreadsheets and build things out yourself to track expenses or to track payment of bills. Or maybe you want to use an app like mint.com to help you organize. So whatever system's going to work for you, but take the time to figure out a system so that you do know what happens when something comes in. How does it come in? How does it get processed? And then where does it go to? So that was a short recap of our Coffee with Katie conversation, and I would look forward to any feedback you might have or any tips that you might have for any of us. Please feel free to reach out to me at kbrown@mortonbrownfw.com.